Hello everyone. Here are the two new journals I have to share. I showed a sneak peek preview of this one last week, I think it was. Anyway, this one I've completed now, and so I can share both of them. They are school themed. I was thinking maybe teacher gift, back to school, that sort of thing. So I'll show this one first. I'll scoot this one a little bit out of the way. This closure is a vintage button, and I just happen to have two of them, so they match. This is some vintage ribbon trim that I have used here, and it is laced through the back of this tag. So the cover is made from this craft tag. It's a size, what is this? Number 12, and it's 5 1/8 by 10.5 inch tag, and I coffee dyed it. And then I took like a scrap of copy paper, and that was roughly this size, and stitched a variety of fabrics onto it. I used some of this burlap type of fabric, and it came in a scrapbooking kit with some scrapbook paper. So it was a 12 by 12 sheet, and then this one's a slightly darker brown. And then I have some muslin, I believe, and then these two fabrics that are just like a cotton fabric, and I've stitched it on in a collage and then glued the paper down. Or I think I used, what's it called? That sticky double-sided tape stuff. Score tape and sequin tape, it's called, to adhere it here. And then I did a pamphlet, 3-hole pamphlet stitch, and I used some jute twine on this one. So, going inside, I have these label pockets that I picked up, not this, it may be last year or the year before from Target. And this is what they look like. And inside, and I used the polka dot, the grill pan with the holes when I coffee dyed this one, so that's where that came from. Maybe I stitched this one onto, I guess maybe I didn't glue it. I stitched the fabric back onto here, because that's what that looks like. So here we have a journal card. I think this is from Authentique. Some doily, and then tags. In the journal, the theme is tag and envelope. So I have these tags throughout, and then the envelopes throughout are some that I picked up at the thrift store. You can see there's an address on here. Unfortunately, it was a huge box of envelopes, and it was all taped down, but you could open just a corner of it, and I looked, and the first 50 or so envelopes were completely blank. No address. This is embossed on. So once I opened the box when I got it home, I was like, oh darn. But that just leaves more room for creativity, having to get around that. So you'll see in the book how I deal with that on these envelopes. This here is a part of a tassel that I took apart and just slipped that on the ends there. There's some stamping here and some stickers. The stickers are from, well, most of them are from this Close to My Heart pack, the Whimsy pack of fundamental stickers. I've had those for a while. And so I've used a lot of scraps in these journals. So here's more, and this is from the Hopscotch paper pack of Close to My Heart. There's some stamping, and there's also, these are from random scrapbook paper. So from the stash, here is the tail end of some of those tags. So I glued this glassine bag onto it, and inside I have this little tag here. Those came from Michael's a while back, and this was a scrap chipboard sticker. This is another scrap element from some 12 by 12 scrapbook paper. So on half of the envelopes, I've left the top opening and just trimmed off the flap of the envelope. And then the other half, I trimmed off the side, and that's where the pocket is. Here's a journal card with some spraying. This is a close to my heart hopscotch, I believe hopscotch collection. Journal cards, more stickers, doily, another tag. And this is an imprint from a doily from the coffee dyeing process. And here I have some Tsunami Rose ephemera. That's printed out. Digital ephemera. This is another journal card I picked up at Tuesday morning. A pack of them. Not sure the brand there. This one's close to my heart. Some more Tsunami Rose. You see the coffee dyeing there. I stitched two of the tags together and then hand stitched them in. They're machine stitched together, that's what that is. And then one of the envelopes in the center I cut down quite a bit shorter. I just cut it right where, oh, you can just barely see where the embossed address was, and use those just as a different element. So here are some of that scrapbook journal tags, and I have stitched on. This paper is actually copy paper or scrap paper that I had underneath a spray box where I was using my sprays, and so it's just a scrap there. There's the twine in the center, the jute twine. There's another more of that spray paper. I can't get that back in there. That's just a scrap. There's another one of those journal cards. This was some lined scrapbook paper. Now on the back here I've stitched some scrap, I think this is like wax paper that I had underneath or protecting an oven pan when I was coffee dyeing papers. Here's a random journal card that I've sprayed the back of. Another tag. This is another one of the close to my heart ones. And here, that in the center where I cut down that envelope, this is the offcut. And I decoupaged a napkin on it and then glued it onto the edge of this page for a tuck spot. So no waste there. Another sticker. This is scrapbook journaling card. Here's another tail of a tag. On this one I did it slightly different. I didn't leave these tails, and you'll see that shortly. This is authentique. Oops, it's that way. Here's another Tsunami Rose ephemera, and I've folded it kind of like the top of an envelope there. Whoops, it's really hard to get back. So I just folded these two and then folded that down. I'm just going to set that there. That's that. This says, questions are the creative acts of intelligence. Scrapbook paper. Ah, I'm losing things. That's stitched around and then glued on to the page there. That was just a scrap of something I had. And then on the back here for this one I used this, this part is from the top of the 12 by 12 paper. Some paper companies give you kind of a sample of what's on the other side, and they're really useful for these kind of things, like a belly band. So I made the belly band, and then this journal card I punched a couple holes through and just added some scraps of coffee dyed paper for an extra place to journal there. And it slips right through there. That is that one, and then on the second one, again, similar. This is that tag, whoops, and then I've done some collaging with fabric. Same button for the closure that I've hand stitched on there, and then this is some pink organza ribbon that I tied in a bow and looped through there. So you can see where I hand stitched it on there. On the inside here I did some of this extra wax paper that has the coffee dyeing on it, and this was a journal card, and then I've done a little scrap of ribbon here with a, what is this? This is tracing paper that was punched out with a flower. Tiny little button that I've threaded some pink thread through, and then a teeny tiny butterfly there, and that was all from scraps. And in fact, I'll show you. This is a little 4x6 photo holder. It's meant to hold like photos, I guess. And I have it jam-packed full of the tiny scraps. And I also have, so you can see all kinds of little tiny scraps in there. I also have a plastic shoebox container that has larger scraps from projects and things, papers and all kinds of stuff. And that's pretty full too. It's amazing how much stuff you can save. So this again is a Tsunami Rose printable ephemera. And I stuck it in there. There's some more stamping. This is a definition for inspire, which I thought was appropriate for a teacher. There's another journal card there. Some of the same stamps. My apple stamp there. Now these ones, all of the tags I stitched together on the sewing machine before I stitched them into this book. And then there's that one journal card there. This is the end here that opens. Left the flap open here for a tuck spot there. But I think in this journal I accidentally or just forgot that I was going to do that and glued it all the way down on one of them. You'll see that coming up. Here are a couple scraps from my bin that I guess I just, what did I do here? Oh, this was from a 12 by 12 paper, but it was something else on the back and it just didn't look good, so I stitched that light paper onto it. And then this one here, same thing, same paper pack. These two actually went together on the same 12 by 12 paper. And then on the back of this side, I just stitched this other scrap of paper on. So got some stamping here, a doily. Then here, this is from that the same pad as, or paper that was the 12 by 12, and I just cut it out. This was a tag from Michael's from a while back, and I used some Tattered Angels spray on there because it was very white, which didn't quite go with this journal. Here's another scrap of digital ephemera from Tsunami Rose. There's some stamping there. This is the one where I glued the whole thing down, so that's not a tuck spot there. I stapled this little scrap that I found in my box on here, and then I added a bead of glue on either side. And then this is again as a scrap, which I just trimmed it off so that it's right at the two. It had more. This, where did this come from? Oh, this is 7 Gypsies, I believe. It was a sports-themed pack, but I thought that looked like yearbook photos, and so I put that in there. Again, the stamp with the questions. Here's the, you've seen this one, that's the same one from the Tsunami Rose that I had in the last one. And, is it, oh, now I've drawn a blank. But, okay, so I won't mention that, but I was going to say where all the stamps are from the same company. Now I can't remember where it is. But if you want to know that, just ask me in the comments and I'll dig up the information. More of the Close to My Heart stickers. There's that center one. Some more ephemera printed out. What's that one? On this side, what do I have there? Just a scrap of a lightweight scrap of paper. And this one, the center, I stitched it in with some baker's twine that was also from Close to My Heart that I've had in my stash. Some more stickers, the tag, the doily. Here's another stitched up journal card from a 12 by 12 piece of cardstock. And I took some scrap coffee dyed paper and stitched that on the back. There's that one again, and this is a similar 12 by 12 cardstock that I stitched some more coffee dyed paper onto. Lots of extra journaling there, and I love how this looks like it's torn from a notebook. I like that. Here's another sticker pack. I wonder if I hung on to that. Nope, I don't have it over here, but just some random stickers I'd had in my stash for a long time. And it's dogs. Those are dogs, and they're all dressed up for school. It's kind of an odd picture, but... And then this is that scrapbook paper that I used to back, but this is kind of sprayed on the back, coffee dyed, and stitched around the edges. Get that in there. Some random stickers, and this was an off-cut of a journal card, and I just stapled that on. Or maybe I don't know if I stapled it and then glued it on, because I wanted the look of the staples, but I didn't want it to get caught with trying to get stuff in there. And then these two were from a 12 by 12 page. I think it had like pink and black diamonds on the back, and it was pretty busy, so then I backed it with the stitched on spray paper. And then here's another piece of digital ephemera that I've roughed up the edges and inked up to add to its character and its vintage look. Get in there. And then here I glued down here and here after stitching around the edges. And again, this is Tsunami Rose. I think all of the printable ephemera Tsunami Rose. This one, I really roughed it up. I wet it with some spray, then crumpled it up, and inked the edges, all kinds of stuff. And sticks back in there. There's another sticker from that one set. Stamp here. This is a scrap of paper. I think it's 2 lightweight scrapbook papers stitched together with a little bit of scrap fabric stitched to the top there. Again, the offcut from the center envelope that I have done a napkin, and there's all kinds of stuff on here. Some stamping, a tiny little heart. This, I think this was, I'm not sure if it was a sticker or a scrap of paper, but I put that on there. Then there's a little paper fastener brad and a very tiny scrap of the vintage ribbon trim there. Seen these before. And here the address was still showing a bit, so I just glued down some of this scrap coffee dyed paper to cover that up. There's the label pocket again. This time I put it in the back, and here's a journal card that I've taken some scrap ribbon and fabric and stapled on there. And that is it. So I'm hoping, I'm probably going to give these as a teacher gift, but I'm not 100% sure. And I hope you enjoy seeing them, and it inspires you to try a tag, envelope, journal. I have tons of those envelopes, so I was trying to figure out what to do with them. And I think this is a great solution. So thanks for letting me share with you today. Have a great day. Bye.